Joining me from the Bamboo School in Thailand is Catherine. Catherine, it's lovely to see you again. And we also see you have Soy Fah with you. It's been 11 months since we last spoke. What's been happening?
We have a border war within 1 kilometre of our back door. And the border war is between Myanmar and the Karen country, the Karen people. And we have been seeing about 100 and plus refugees running every week.
Wow.
And now we have a number of refugee mini camps set up along the no man's land, the little strip of jungle behind us. Many of the people have TB. They have severely ill children, like their butthole doesn't work, or they've got thalassemia major, or we've got one little girl's come in with cancer and TB, and she's 7 years old.
Catherine, how do you protect yourself from these diseases? What sort of actions are you taking, as well as trying to look after them?
First of all, we try to keep ourselves as isolated as we can from the actual camps. We go to them rather than them coming to us. And we can wear protective gear and things when we go to them. Secondly, we've been trying to involve our local health centres, our local community people involved in health, so that we try to bring in education about the diseases that people are carrying. Not many deaths at this stage. They're surviving. They're great survivors. But an added problem they've got is Myanmar drives on their right side of the road. Thailand drives like New Zealand and Australia on the correct left side of the road. So we have many motorbike accidents where people get distracted when they're trying to go to help, and they'll crash the motorbike out. And we've had a pickup truck ran straight over top of an immigrant family, 2 kids and mum and dad on a motorbike on the wrong side of the road. They were in the wrong. But it just helped the situation when they can't speak the language, they don't know the road rules, and they were sick on top of it. And so we end up with +2 more children.
Well, Catherine, let's just recap, because we've had quite a few new members since we last spoke 11 months ago. Just a brief recap on the history of the school and how a Kiwi ended up in Thailand.
Okay, I came from Australia, actually. I had married an Australian from Tasmania, and we came to Thailand and were working in Bangkok in the city. And I got seconded to go to a hill tribe school to help up there after I've been here already 5 years. So I went up to the hill tribe school and met these little Karen kids. I haven't seen my mother for 6 months, or whatever their story was. So in the school holidays, I brought them down to where they last saw Mummy, which was this crazy place called Bonti on the border. And that's how I learned about the kids. And when I finished my contract, I came here and started a school. And I came here with nothing, and God provided everything. And we've had now more than 600 children go through here and graduate out of school with an ID. Because when they come, they've got nothing.
When did you start the school? What year?
2000.
Okay, so that's 23 years. Wow. Yeah. Let's talk about Soy Fah, who's sitting with you now. And most of our members are familiar with the story about losing her sight, and the original diagnosis wasn't good. What was the original diagnosis?
Okay. In the very beginning, she fell into a toilet and we thought it was an infection. But it wasn't. It was a combination of the infection and a disease called Peter's anomaly. And it's when the iris grabs hold of the cornea and pulls the front of the eye out further, and that detaches the retina, and they end up no connection to the brain. And people tell me that this is very rare, and the surgical outcome is very low. They don't normally attempt it in children. So she's completely lost the sight in her right eye. There's nothing we can do for her. She's already got a detached retina. So we decided to take her to a specialized hospital, and they looked at it, and one doctor said, I think we can try, but the percentage of positive attitude is going to count because of the very slim chance. So finally, we got the surgery done just on a month ago. And the front of her eye had already joined with the iris joining the cornea. And it was already stretching the retina like it would stretch until it breaks. So the doctor, under general anesthetic, went in and detached the iris from the cornea. She then put an air bubble in between and pushed the air bubble, a little bit of pressure to push the retina back into place. And we prayed hard for a week. When they took the bandages off, she can see.
Wow.
She can see about 30% more than she could see before. They removed a cataract from the front of the eye as well.
So what is the prognosis? What is the outlook for Soy Fah now, growing into adulthood?
And dance. So that's an idea of the prognosis.
Sorry, I missed that. What was the prognosis?
Oh, we skipped and danced, both the doctor and... So now we will go back on the 14th, and we will test her eyesight level and then decide from that whether to put an internal lens in to clear up the rest of her vision, or whether we are better to put her glasses on for now, and then when she gets a little bit older to do the lens change. So she's definitely seeing. She's definitely able to see better with a lens, either implant or external. And we just need to make that decision on the 14th.
So all in all, what was originally felt like a lost cause and it was going nowhere, you persevered, talking to doctors all over the place, didn't you, to find someone who could do this? Yes.
One hospital actually told us, a large Buddhist hospital that does the king's eye surgeries at Nakhon Chasi. The doctor there said, I think we could cut off her hair and put her in a little white dress and she could beg on the streets and get very rich.
Oh.
And I just swallowed my phlegm. I was so mad about the statement of cutting off her hair and sending her to be a beggar.
Oh, dear.
And so I took her out of that hospital. And then I took her to the next hospital. And the next hospital says, I really don't think there's a chance. I think if we do surgery, she'll go instantly blind. She won't have any vision at all. So I took her out of there and I went to another one. I just kept going because I felt something should be able to be done.
Yes.
And finally, we found this private hospital that's super expensive, very difficult. You can't park your car at it. It's in the highlight of Bangkok. And I thought, if this is a place, it's going to have a few challenges. And yeah, we just leave the car further up the road and grab a taxi, and it's okay. They can drop us at the door. Those things are easily overcome.
Yeah.
And we got the right doctor because the right doctor waived her fee. So we were quoted 200,000 minimum, and we got it for 152,000 finished.
And that's obviously baht. What's that in Aussie dollars, roughly?
It's about 6,500, something like that, Aussie dollars.
Right. And to restore precious sight, that's just incredible.
Yeah.
Just incredible. Soy Fah,
Yeah.
how do you feel after that operation? How much better can you see? You more confident?
More confident, happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she runs around, she skips and dances, she sings songs. Yeah.
That is great.
When she walked, she was putting out a hand to feel for something to guide her.
Mm,
Now
mm.
she comes straight down the steps.
And if this next step, as you say, on the 14th, if that can do even more, that'll be even
Yes.
more of a miracle.
Yes, she'll be able to read better. At the moment, she still has to bring the book fairly close. So we'll need to get that in perspective, the short-sightedness.
Yeah. And how old are you now, Soy Fah?
10.
10 years old. Wow. You're going to remember this for the rest of your life. There's no doubt about that. Well done. Well done to everybody. Catherine, just a couple of quick questions before we wrap it up. Our Rotary Club, of course, sent you over a second-hand Queensland ambulance. Is it still going strong?
Oh, yeah. Lots of stories about that car. First thing is that it had its first major accident about 2 months ago. And it hit a water pipe had broken on the side of a mountain road. I was not driving. My poor young man was driving it. And the water went in under the back wheels and it spun. And he overcorrected, so it flipped on its side and lay there in the middle of the road. It didn't involve any other car. My boy walked away with a very small scratch on his arm from a piece of the glass, but it took 3 months to get it back on the road. And it's now back on the road and we're humming along the road and everybody's looking at us because it looks brand new. It's had a complete paint job. And we managed to redesign the inside so it's more practical for carrying more than one patient at a time. But here, when we go to the hospital, we've got to take a translator and the parent and the child. So there are 3 bodies to sit somewhere. And before we could only sit the nurse and the patient in the back and it was full. But now we've made a fold up down seat that can double into a second patient bed. So we can do 2 patients with 1 trip.
Well, the light is, we started off recording the interview and we had some reasonably good light there with you. But yes, the light is now fading because it's sunset in Thailand as we're recording this. So we'll wrap it up here, Catherine. Thank you. Thanks. Yeah, there's the other light on above your head now. So thanks for chatting with us today and thank you for the update. And keep us informed after the 14th.
We will do. One little thing, though, we've got a major problem formulated with the change of government.
And that is?
Change of government have decided rural health clinics shall not be funded by the government.
Wow.
And I have trained a number of my big children are now nurses at the local clinic, Anamai Bongti, and they closed it yesterday. And so we met with some people further away who had the same thing happen to them, and they are now running an independent clinic.
And how are they funding that?
Well, they are funding it through patient insurance campaign, and they're looking for donors of medical apparatus, medical things.
Yep.
And people are doing it in the village as volunteers. Now, when I heard the news that it was likely to happen, I was very lucky. I had Walla Walla Medical College visiting at the time, and they said to me, if it happens in your village, we'll sponsor the nurses' salaries. So I've got 2 girls sponsored to take care of the medical needs of the community.
Catherine, not only are you running the school, you seem to be running the village and surrounding villages. That's just awesome news to hear that you had a solution so quickly.
And then we had a Hong Kong visitor. He's a doctor. And he said, okay, I'll sponsor for the lawn mowing and the assistant nurse and the toilet cleaner. Very good. And we had the first meeting at lunchtime today to make it start tomorrow. We've got outbreaks all around us of disease, and we've got all these refugees carrying these diseases, and we can't be without a medical clinic.
No, not at all. Catherine, we'll leave it there, but keep us posted on the next phase of Soy Fah's journey.
Okay.
All right, Soy Fah, thanks for sitting there, and we'll chat to you soon. Like I said, keep us informed after the 14th.
Yes, sure. Thank you very much.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Oh, bye-bye.